Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kriders. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kriders are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This article is called How the Giants Destroyed My Liver and I Lost All My Friends by Rob Kriders. Hey, that's me. October is a time for falling leaves, jack-o'-lanterns, and postseason baseball. I love October baseball because the playoffs and the World Series. And I especially love October baseball when my Giants are playing. Yes, I said my Giants. No, I'm not a shareholder of the team. I'm certainly not on the pitching staff, nor do I live in San Francisco. Regardless, in October, they're my Giants. Now, I'm a loyal fan of the Giants baseball franchise when two important criteria are present. First, they need to be winning. And second, the season needs to be almost over. Sure, you can call me a front-runner or a Fairweather fan, and those would be very accurate adjectives to describe me. Because you generally won't find me screaming at the television when the Giants are losing a game in April, the fourth game of a 162-game-long season. I don't do 162 of anything, especially not 3-hour-long baseball games. But in October, you can most definitely find me screaming at a television set. I scream for joy. I scream for agony. I just simply scream at the Giants. I love these guys, and they need me to scream. It helps them win games. This claim has been proven based on empirical data taken from the 2010 and 2012 baseball seasons, where I screamed relentlessly at the TV, and the Giants won two World Series championships. You can't argue with the facts here, folks. Now that it's clear that I love the Giants, if they're winning in October, and I scream at the television, whether they're winning or losing, but it does help them win, let's set the mood for the following scenario. It's October, during the Morro Bay Harbor Fest, sponsored by the Sun and New Times magazines, and there's lots and lots of beer to be tasted. With my souvenir Sun New Times glass, I did my due diligence and tasted lots and lots of beer. After a full day of beer tasting, the Giants were scheduled to play the Washington Nationals in a playoff game. I found a quaint little bar near the water with a big screen TV, ordered an 805 beer, and settled in for a nice 9-inning game of drinking and screaming at the television. All was right in the world. Except this was no 9-inning game. Unbeknownst to me and my alcohol intake, this was going to be an 18-inning epic battle of October baseball proportions. One my voice and liver would suffer dearly for. Here's the play-by-play. First inning. Tim Hudson is the starting pitcher for the Giants. Jordan Zimmerman pitches for the Nationals. Rob Kriders orders a pitcher of 805 beer. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 0, Kriders 1. Second inning. It's a pitcher's duel, with neither team able to get a runner home. Kriders made friends with many people at the bar. Lots of Giants fans in Morro Bay. Awesome. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 0, Kriders 2. Third inning. The Nationals get a single run and take the lead. Rob yells at the TV. It isn't looking good. Rob decides to order more 805. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 3. Fourth inning. Giants pitching holds the Nationals back. Unfortunately, the Nationals do the same for the Giants. No score in the inning. Rob decides after 3 beers it's time to hit the bathroom. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 3. Fifth inning. Giants can't get anything going and they remain behind by 1 point. Rob yells at the TV and then orders garlic fries. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 3. Sixth inning. Both teams scoreless. Garlic fries made Rob thirsty. Another 805 is ordered. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 4. Seventh inning. The Giants just can't get a man home. They leave multiple players stranded on base. This causes Rob to really yell at the television and order more 805. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 5. Eighth inning. Neither team can get a run. The game remains a 1-point spread. The Giants are running out of chances. Rob is running out of garlic fries. Official score, Giants 0, Nationals 1, Kriders 5. Ninth inning. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Rob orders more beer and then really starts to yell at the TV. It seems to be working. Pablo Sandoval is at the plate for the Giants. Joe Panic is on second base. Sandoval, the Panda, cranks a double. Panic runs in and scores. Rob jumps for joy, screams at the TV, and spills 805 all over the bar. No one seemed to mind. Official score, Giants 1, Nationals 1, Kriders 6. 10th inning, overtime. Somehow the Giants stay alive, probably because of Rob's passionate yelling, again proving yelling at the television 200 miles away from the game does work. And the Giants have a chance to win the game. They don't. And that brings them to another inning. Rob makes another run to the bathroom. Things are getting a little bit blurry. Official score, Giants 1, Nationals 1, Kriders 6. 11th inning, 12th inning, 13th inning, 14th inning, 15th inning, 16th inning, and 17th inning. Not a darn thing happens in the game. The relief pitchers are on fire. The batters are useless. The only thing that happened is Rob continues to drink and yell. He's losing his voice. Other bar patrons are starting to tire of his shenanigans. Even the bartender begins to give Rob dirty looks. Rob continues to yell. The Giants need him to yell. Official score, Giants 1, Nationals 1. Kriders score? Unknown at this point. 18th inning. Rob screams. Brandon Belt swings and crushes a home run, which clinches the game for the Giants. 18 innings, 6 hours, 23 minutes of playtime, and a bar tab for Rob of $136.50. Garlic fries included. Official score, Giants 2, Nationals 1, Kreider broke with no voice and no friends left at this particular bar. Go Giants! By the way, the Giants may have won that game, but I lost the battle and paid dearly the following day for my yelling and drinking sins.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails podcast, drunken portion of the motherfucking show. Here we are in the Stories and Cocktails studio for once.
For once, yes.
Very rarely are we home. We're mostly out and about in RV tiki or hotels, gallivanting around the country and having a good time. But we're home.
Well, we got to come home every once in a while.
We got to check the mailbox, do some laundry.
Yeah,
Get the shit stains out of my underwear.
Yeah.
Go to the dentist, have some teeth pulled.
I mean, no wonder we don't like being home.
Yeah, fuck this place.
We're just doing laundry. And
everything here is just a
dentist.
bunch of, I call it admin week. I'm like, it's an admin week. We got to take care of business. Sucks.
Admin weeks do suck.
Yeah, I woke up, I'm like, fuck today.
I know.
Like, you don't have a job, dickhead. You have a pretty good day. No, today sucks.
It did. It sucked until about 3 o'clock when you were like, hey, let's just pour some fucking drinks and
Do a podcast.
do a podcast. I was like, don't we have admin shit to do?
Well, now it's a work day. Drunk by 3.
So you want to hear something embarrassing that happened the other day?
Well, I would love to hear something embarrassing happen the other day.
My cousin started to talk to me about the Giants.
The New York Giants, the football team?
Well, it was like that. Like I was like a deer in the headlights. I was like, wait, what Giants? What season is it? And she was totally talking to me like I'm a person who knows about the Giants and follows the Giants and is like actively aware of how they're doing this year. She was even name dropping players. And I was like, how do I play this?
I mean, as a person who has seen all 30 baseball parks in the country, has been to numerous Giants games, been to playoff games, that person? You?
Yeah. I mean, last year I'm sitting behind home plate watching a Giants game. And this year I'm like,
Who's on the team?
Who's that? Yeah. And I think I was literally wearing a Giants hat when she...
You're wearing a San Francisco Giants black and orange hat.
Yes.
Your cousin's like, how about those Giants? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
She had every right to ask me. Since they won the World Series in 2014, I've definitely done everything in my power to make everyone see me as a huge Giants fan. Like I've built my identity around it. We've got Giants decor hanging downstairs. I've got Giants stickers on my bike. Like I said, I was wearing a Giants hat. I have orange tennis shoes. I mean, you don't get more San Francisco Giants than orange.
They're pretty garish.
Tennis shoes. I know. I get a lot of shit for them when I wear them.
For sure.
When I dress up like a Giants fan.
The only way you could be a bigger Giants fan is if you're riding a cable car, eating sourdough bread, and stepping in bum shit.
It was very San Francisco.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just kind of started and I was like, oh shit, is it baseball season? I was like, we were kind of doing baseball last year when we finished seeing all 30 ballparks. Like, we're kind of taking a break from baseball this year. And she's like, okay, but you've caught a couple of games, right? Yeah, I caught a couple of games. Like, yeah, I'm a Giants fan. I mean, I haven't watched all of the games, but
There's 162 games. Who's going to follow this shit?
Well, I think now that we're home, just pencil it into admin week. Like, let's watch some Giants games.
Watch a Giants game.
Yeah.
The problem with that is we watch a Giants game and they're good. They'll be going back to San Francisco. Now we're riding a cable car, eating sourdough bread again, and stepping in bum shit.
Definitely one game on TV if they win, if they're doing well.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they're good.
It's a gateway.
Bandwagon. bandwagon fans.
Yeah, we
That's
are.
the thing about us. We are totally those people.
We are.
We're unapologetic about it. We'll come to your city and we'll wear your shirt and we'll root for your fucking team like we've been there since the 50s.
And we will learn exactly enough. And when I say learn, I mean, I'm talking about like I'll read 2 or 3 paragraphs of like a Wikipedia page so that I can kind of have a conversation with you and make you think that I know what I'm talking about or make you think that I know about this team, but I really know fucking nothing. And then we fucking post pictures on social media like, here we are. We are the biggest San Francisco Giants fans. And then you say, well, how's the team doing this year? And I'm just a deer in the headlights.
What team
like,
are we talking about?
Yeah. Now, if they were doing well, I'd probably fucking know. You know what I mean? Come October, if they're in the playoffs, here come the orange shoes.
Well, that segues to our story this week. This story is called How the Giants Destroyed My Liver and Lost All My Friends, published October 23rd, 2014 in the Santa Maria Sun. Really about us really becoming the big bandwagon fans. Now, this is after they already won 2 World Series.
Yeah.
They were on their way to win their 3rd. They were only winning the every even years, so 10, 12, and 14. This is during the playoffs when they were basically playing the Washington Nationals to make it into the World Series, and they had a 18-inning game where they had 6-hour game while we were at a bar with a bar tab open, drinking and eating and screaming. I am what you call a shoutcaster. Now, I think you coined this term, shoutcasting.
I don't know if I coined it or if I stole it, but it definitely is you.
How it's been explained to me is that a shoutcaster is someone who's in a room with maybe 1 or 2 people or maybe 50 people. They think they're alone and they think that no one can hear them and they just scream at the top of their lungs, and I can get very loud, at the TV and mansplain.
Yes.
Every sport, every foul, every...
I don't think you think you're alone because you wouldn't need to explain what's happening if you were alone. Like you're performing, you're actually broadcasting. You're just doing it with a certain level of ignorance about how the game is played.
Ignorance, I love it.
And then a really loud voice.
When we read the story today, and I thought to myself, the bartender started looking a little annoyed. I thought to myself, oh my God, could you imagine having to be a bartender at a bar that you didn't know was going to happen? That one, a bunch of Giants fans are going to show up. Let's say you're not even a baseball fan. You're like, is it fucking playoff time? I don't know. And someone's like, put the Giants game on. And then that game was going to go on for 6 fucking hours while a very drunk Rob Kreider sat right in front of you ordering 805s and screamed and spit in your face for 6 fucking hours.
Yeah. You said
Miserable.
that. When I read the story, you said, could you imagine and you painted that whole thing out. And I don't know if you saw me or not, but I would, yes. I can imagine that.
That's my everyday.
Experienced that
During the week. Maybe the
so
reason we're not
many
Giants
times.
fans anymore is because you couldn't stand listening to me scream at the TV for 162 games a year.
It's not that we're not Giants fans anymore. We totally are. If I
will
were
be in the fall when it's fucking time.
Yeah, and if I were going to watch baseball and follow baseball this year, it would totally be the Giants. And I usually pay a tiny bit of attention. It's just this year, it's like, I don't know where I've been. The season just started and I just missed it. I was completely, when she said, hey, how about them Giants? I'm doing like the calendar in my head. I'm like, is it fucking baseball season
Like
already?
spring training?
Yeah.
Because we were spring training with the Giants last year. Again, when you realize that we were at spring training in Arizona, and then a year later, like, how about those Giants? You're like, what are you talking about?
God,
That's so
you're
last
right.
year.
We were big enough fans to go to spring training last year. We really are.
We're shitty human beings.
We're Fairweather fans. So in the beginning, and this cousin is the same cousin who back in 2014, she completely accused me of being a bandwagon fan.
She was a long-time Giants
Oh,
fan
yeah.
when they sucked.
She had been a Giants fan forever. I mean, I didn't even know that there was a game called baseball, and she was a Giants fan. And I was just like, girls don't like sports. So then all of a sudden in 2014, I'm just, hey, I love the Giants.
She's like, oh, really? On their 3rd fucking World Series? Of course you do.
So she's, you're a bandwagon fan. And was I? Yes.
For sure. But did we go all in?
We did go all in.
That's the thing. Sure, we're bandwagon, we're late comers, but we are your biggest fans once we're in.
Here's what happened. And I think that it actually makes me look a little better than you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's generally the case.
So you were trying to bandwagon in 2010. You came home from work and you're like, hey, let's watch the Giants, and again, I was like, what is this? And I had an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. So I was like, I'm too fucking busy. If I'm going to watch sports, it's going to be our kids playing sports. I can't watch TV so I was just like, stop being a man. Like, you already spend enough time in the garage on your car. You don't get to watch sports on TV.
Yeah, you can't do both, bro.
You're not that dad. Then they won and you're like, hey, so cool. San Francisco won the World Series. I'm like, I don't even know what that fucking means. Then in 2012, you tried to do it again.
I'm like, this is exciting.
Yeah. And I was just like, whatever. Like, I can't stop my life every time you find out some sport team is winning something, because...
Well, I'm hella NorCal.
Right. Well, and you were doing the bandwagon thing. The reason I said this makes me look better than you is because I wasn't doing the bandwagon thing.
You mean the bandwagon thing where I grew up in Northern California point? I like the Giants?
You only liked them so far in 2010 and in
Well,
2012.
it's easier to like them when they're winning.
Like the story says.
For sure.
Then 2014 rolled around and you started to do your bandwagon thing again. And I'm still at this point, like, I don't know what baseball is and I don't care. But at this point now, I have a 15-year-old and I have a 17-year-old. So the leash is a little longer.
Life's easier.
We have a lot more free time. We can do stuff, but we didn't have cable. And so you said, hey, let's go walk down to the bar so we can watch this baseball game. All I heard was, let's go walk down to the bar. So you became a bandwagon fan. I just became
An alcoholic.
We
had a handsome group of boys on the team that year.
Well, that's true too.
So you're like, oh, you're telling me you're going to take me to a bar and I can just eat chicken wings and fucking look at these handsome boys win baseball games? You're like, I like the Giants too now.
These were really good dates. Like, we started dating again.
Yeah, exactly.
And we would walk down and we had a couple of pretty cool bars.
Walking distance of our house.
And when a game was during happy hour, it didn't get any better than
Life
that.
was good. Giants are winning. Drinks half price.
Yeah.
These guys are handsome.
So
it's all good.
Come home from work. You know, the kids weren't even around. They're doing after school sports and who knows? They're
smoking
15
weed,
and
getting
17.
pregnant. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, the thing was they weren't around.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's go. We got some free time. Let's walk down. Now, when people accuse us of being bandwagon fans, which we 100% are, and that is totally true, I always remind people that we're Raiders fans.
Yeah, when did the Raiders win a game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we could have been a bandwagon fan to the Raiders would have been in the 80s, and I was in kindergarten or some shit like that. So...
For sure. So this story talks about basically being in a bar for 6 hours, drinking through the whole game, 805 beers, keeping it local to the central coast of California, and essentially the Giants did win that game. And the funny part about the story was I talked about my bar tab being an astronomical, crazy number of $136.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I sign up for that bar tab today?
Yes. When I got to that part of the story, I just laughed out loud and I even like kind of choked on my words a little bit. It was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I wish that was our bar tab now.
But back then in 2014, for us to just spend $135 on beers was a lot.
Also 805s. Remember when you used to drink beer and you used to be super fun and super cheap? And now you drink like fucking top shelf tequila? I can't afford an 18 inning game with you drinking top shelf tequila.
Die, dude. The other reason I'm not watching the Giants, I'm like, look, one time they went 18 fucking innings and I almost died in the bar. Fucking, it's risky.
That game made us a little shy. So we're in Morro Bay for that. We come back home and now the Giants are even further along in the playoffs and we're even bigger,
we're all in
more
now,
diehard fans. Yeah, I mean, we knew all of the players. We were just cheering.
We know their backstory. Like, come on, Posey. We were all about it.
Oh, yeah. But now we go back to our neighborhood bar and it's the first inning and they're just like, hey, Rob, hey, Sarah, you want a round of 805s? No, we're not. We can't trust them. We're not going to start drinking until
the 11th inning, 12th inning. They didn't give me a pitcher.
When AT&T Park, it wasn't Oracle back then, it was AT&T Park.
Yep.
When AT&T Park stopped serving in the 7th inning, that's when we'll start drinking here at home, watching it on TV because...
Yeah, we might die. Liver failure.
Yeah.
So this bandwagon stuff reminds you of something. We went to a bar the other day. What's on TV? So I look at it and I was like, oh, it's hockey. And I was like, I remember that. We did a bandwagon thing with hockey.
When we were in the bar and hockey was on and I saw your eyes gravitate towards it. Again, I'm doing like the mental gymnastics or the calendar. Like, is it hockey season?
Holy shit. Is it hockey time again?
I was like, okay, sweet. It's the Oilers who are in Canada and it's the Panthers who are in Florida. And like, I think my pocketbook is going to be safe.
We're not going to have to go to the Stanley Cup.
I don't think they're close. If it had been like Avalanche, I would have been a little more worried. I would have been like, oh, fuck, this guy's going to fly me to Colorado.
So this is a story about us spending a shitload of money.
Well, and we had sold our house. So we had a pile of cash. We had sold our house and then we started renting. So we had a pile of cash that we were supposed to save.
We forgot to save.
Yeah, that was going to be our nut to put down on our next house when we were ready to buy. Oh, we're not sure what we're going to do.
Yeah, let's see what the market does.
We had these like really smart, financially responsible ideas.
Very cerebral, intelligent
and
ideas.
All the ideas, they had absolutely nothing to do with financial planning, like put it in a CD, put it in an IRA, whatever.
Hide it from yourself.
Exactly. The whole theme was how do we make it so we can't touch it? Forget a CD, forget banking interests. We could have just taken it all out in envelopes and given it to somebody we trust and say, don't give this to us.
Until the market goes down, we're to buy a house.
Yeah, until we're in escrow, you hold these envelopes of fucking money for us. And I don't care if I'm dying, if I have stage 4 cancer and I owe the hospital $50,000, you don't give me this fucking money.
That money is unattainable.
Yeah. And And we didn't do that.
No, we just left it in the same account. We just have an ATM card too.
Yeah.
We just get to it. So we did some dumb shit. So the first dumb shit thing was I was like, hey, I'm going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I just had a stroke. I'm going to buy the biggest fucking midlife crisis car you can buy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We just left it in our account so that it would be there the first time you found a fucking Porsche in Houston, Texas.
Yes. I decided that my life is not complete unless I buy this particular Porsche in Houston, Texas. It has everything I want. It's got a turbo. It's got the engine in the mid.
It wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a stroke crisis. You were in your hospital bed recovering from your stroke,
With a smartphone in my hand.
shopping online for this stupid fucking car.
Well, when you have a stroke, you're like, okay, you start to take inventory. What have I done? What have I not done? I haven't owned a supercar. I'm going to fucking do that right now as fast as I can.
I'm trying to assure myself and everybody who's calling and is concerned that you're going to live. Well, first, I'm telling people, no, I don't need a casserole. Rob's not even home yet.
A lot of people want to bring a casserole.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to bring me dinner. I'm just like, what's in between the hospital and my apartment is a Chipotle. And I'm finding that very comforting. I leave Rob. I should have taken his fucking smartphone with me when I left.
Turns out it's not that smart.
And I drive home and I stop at Chipotle. Like, please do not bring me dinner. So I had to tell people not to bring us dinner. And then I had to assure people that you were going to live. That was where we were at. Is Rob going to live? Is he going to be able to walk? Can he talk? I'm like, I don't know. Jury's still out. You're shopping for a fucking car.
Yes. So I find the ultimate car, the Halo car, Porsche 718 Cayman GTS. I need to find a way to broker the deal with you where I can convince you and my wife this is the smart plan. We should take the money that we save for a house and spend it on a Porsche. So I say to you, baby, would you like to do something we've never done in our lives? We've never done this. We've been raising kids and working our asses off. I'm going to put you on a first class ticket. I'm going to fly you to Texas. We're going to fucking party. We're going to jump into a Porsche and we're going to road trip across the country. We'll stop in Vegas and party in Vegas. We'll come home with this Porsche.
You said the Porsche is going to cost about $4,000 less than all of the money we have in savings from the sale of our house. So I'm going to spend that other $4,000 on first class flights and then whatever meets our fancy on the way home.
Yeah, whatever we see.
Yeah.
Anything shiny.
From Houston back to Fresno. And I think, just worn down like a battered woman. And it's not like you battered me physically or emotionally. You battered me with your health. You were like, I might die.
I took advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
I saw an opening and I saw a gap and I took the gap.
I was like, if you just stop having this conversation with me, yes, we can do it. Because you were, I don't know how many more years I have left. And, my grandpa was only 7 years older than I am right now when he died. And, if I hadn't gotten here in time and the TPA, who knows what condition I would be in right now. Like, you really manipulated the situation. I mean, when you were on your smartphone, were you toggling between like Porsches for sale and then just how to completely gaslight and manipulate my fucking wife? Because
I'm going to sell this like I tried to sell my cock to you when we were in college. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to convince you this is the buy of a century.
Yes.
So you take the bait and you say, let's go. You start packing like you always do, like a fucking psychopath. You pack a small freighter of luggage and I tell you, baby, you don't know something about this car. This is a Porsche. The engine's behind us. It's a 2-seater. There's no place to put stuff. You don't get to bring 3 fucking bags with you. I said, also, remember this. You're a Porsche wife now. You fly first class and you wear bikinis. You just pack bikinis for Vegas pools. That's all you need. High heels and a bikini. Pack nothing else. We're going to fucking get a Porsche and go to Vegas.
You were speaking to me a language that I had never heard before. One, high heels. I mean, I hadn't worn high heels for at least a decade. And now all of a sudden you're telling me I got to bring high heels. I'm like, I don't even fucking own high heels. And then, I mean, bikinis, I kind of knew bikinis, but I was like, I'm not a person who just sits in a passenger seat in a bikini. Like, I wear clothes, like my thighs will stick to the seat if I don't have clothes.
This is going to be Alcantara leather. You won't stick to this seat.
So that was the other thing. Alcantara. I'm like, I don't know what that word means. And then frunk. You're kept like, nothing will fit in the frunk. Nothing will fit. And I'm like, well, good. I'm not going to put anything in the frunk. I'm going to put my bag in the trunk. You kept saying these words to me. And I'm just like, dude, I'm going to put this fucking bag up your ass if you don't stop talking to me about Alcantara leather and frunks and high heels.
So a frunk is a front trunk because this car does not have a trunk. So supercars have the engine in the back and your luggage goes in the front. If you're successful in life, you own a car with a frunk.
You kept saying engines in the back and trunks in the front. And I kept thinking, and a different wife in the passenger seat, because what you're explaining is not for this wife that you currently
Yes. I'm like, listen,
this is not my cup of tea.
Just pack bikinis. So I put you on this flight, and as drinkers, we're stoked because as soon as we got on that first class flight, We walk in, we sit down, and she's like, would you like a drink while everyone else is loading the plane?
Yeah.
Yes, we would. And they gave us a little warm washcloth to wipe our hands. They gave us warm nuts in a little bowl. And that was our first class experience, and it was epic and awesome. So we're like, this is good. Everything's good.
Yeah. We were living the high life.
Fly to Texas. We pick up the car. The car is everything we want. Now we got to drive from Texas to home. And we're basically taking our time. We're seeing a few sites.
You would sweeten the deal a little bit besides the first class flight. I mean, because remember, you had about $4,000 or $5,000 you had to spend to make sure you completely obliterated.
Yeah, I wanted to destroy us financially for this car.
So we were doing our baseball stadium.
That's right.
So we saw the Houston Astros and we saw
Texas Rangers.
So we did get to hit 2 baseball stadiums.
Our 30 park chase.
Yeah.
Then we head across Texas. We're heading to Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm like, Flagstaff's a cool city. We'll stay there and do some fun. We'll do like a ghost tour or some shit. Some fun shit.
Yeah.
So we're cruising down this 2-lane road, and I'm being a good boy in the Porsche, right? It's the most expensive car I've ever owned in my life, and I'm being very cautious about how I park it, how we sit in it, all that stuff. You can't eat in it, you can't drink in it, you can't do shit in it. I'm like, you can put your bikini in the front, and that's it.
I was like, I'm thirsty. You're just like, you'll drink when we get there.
Yeah. So we're going down this road. It's a very smooth Arizona road. Everything's good.
We're pretty much out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
though.
it's nowhere. And I'm going around, I'm trying to manage traffic. I'm going to pass this truck, and this Porsche has a button on it, basically a push to pass button, like a Formula One car. And it takes the car from basically street car mode into full-blown Sport Plus race car psycho mode. So I haven't hit this button yet. I've heard about it. I've read about it. But I'm like, I'll just touch this thing and we'll just jump on the throttle and we'll get by this truck as quickly as we can, as fast as we can. So I bury my foot in the throttle in this thing and the car fucking takes off. It's like driving into the future, right? And even I was caught a little bit off guard about how fucking fast it went. Like it went fastly, very fast.
Yes.
I looked down and I don't remember the number, but we were well into the multiple triple, like 130 miles an hour instantaneously. And I'm like, oh shit, this is going to jail speed.
Yeah, I think the whole episode spanned only like 7 or 8 seconds.
Yeah, it was a quick pass, but we were like well into the 130s.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like I wanted to pass this truck. I didn't mean to go 130 miles an hour.
And I was very, very quiet.
Yeah, you didn't say shit.
No.
Back in the day when I used to fuck around a car, you just slapped me, hey, stop, I don't like this. You got real quiet.
You rendered me speechless. I was terrified. And then when I finally was able to speak, I said, I need you to pull over as soon as you possibly can, the very next restroom we see.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah, you got to pee. I really didn't take what you said that seriously because I didn't know what was going on with you internally in your gastrointestinal stuff.
We're in the middle of nowhere, babe. Like,
I can drive faster.
You can hold it and we'll get, and I said, no, I need you to pull over immediately. And that's, I think, when you started to really like, oh, something's really going on with her. Is she okay?
Yeah, what's her problem? So I pull off. It's some like a rest stop.
Yeah. Luckily, there was a rest stop pretty quickly.
You head inside and you don't come out. You're in there for a very long time. And I'm like, man, this car is super cool. It's super fast. I parked in a good spot. Like, I'm just all about the car. And you're just like, not coming out, not coming out, not coming out.
And then I texted you from the bathroom and I said, I'm going to be a while because you literally scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. And I was like, what? And I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, you didn't have to pee. The car is so fucking fast, it made you shit your pants.
I really thought that I had. The reason I was so quiet is because I was like, I think I just spoiled these Alcantara seats because I was terrified. Luckily, when we got to the rest stop, I realized it was a false alarm. Like, you did scare the shit out of me. I did have to spend some time in the rest stop, but luckily everything stayed where it was supposed to until I got to the bathroom and the appropriate space. No harm to my pants, no harm to the seats.
This car still has a very high resale value. There is no poo in the right front seat of the Alcantara leather. So then we get to Flagstaff, Arizona. We go on a really cool ghost tour, which is super fun. And we go to a bar.
I love you just skip all over that. And then you're like, and then you came out and then we lived happily ever after and we went to Flagstaff.
We drove reasonably to Flagstaff.
But I also think that I was pretty much like, you will not ever do that to me again.
Please only use 15% of the throttle in this car.
Yeah. And normally you probably wouldn't respect me and you would still fuck around. But I think the scare or the fear of actual shit on your seats, I think kept you in line.
I marketed well that we need to buy this car, and you marketed well not to drive fast.
Yeah.
Like, we all work together.
It worked.
We all have our marketing skills, and I learned to drive very reasonable. So I used about 7% of the throttle to Flagstaff.
Yes.
Get to Flagstaff, and we walk into this bar. And
Flagstaff's a cute, charming little town, too.
It's the best. So we walk into this bar, and we're going to get a couple drinks, have a good time. And it was an odd situation where it was just young guys, bartender. The place wasn't very busy, and he didn't seem really interested in getting us any drinks.
Well, first off, too, I didn't realize Flagstaff is like, I don't know, it's like Arizona's Tahoe or something. It's like this little mountain town. So you told me I could only pack bikinis, and we left Fresno and it was June. So we were already pretty much
triple digits.
We go to Houston where the temperature is the same. I knew we'd be going to Vegas because I had seen like, okay, on our road trip, Vegas is between Houston and Fresno. So I'm just thinking hot weather, hot weather, hot weather. We get to Flagstaff and we're in the Porsche, which is temperature controlled, and we're in like our shorts and tank tops and shit. And it's like, I'm looking, I'm like, God, everyone's dressed like a lumberjack.
Like a ski resort here.
Yeah. And it was like this like mountain. It's like, how high are we? Is Flagstaff like high in the elevation? Like those are pine trees. Like all the clues are here.
Geography's not our thing, y'all.
Everyone's wearing a jacket. And yeah, we got out and we were so underdressed. It was fucking cold.
Ended up in this bar. Bartender won't give us any love. And then he's watching TV. And so he's like, hold on a second. I'll help you out. It's a Stanley Cup, game 3. I'm like, what? He's like, it's hockey. And I'm like, what's hockey? Right? He's like, well, hockey is a game where men who are from Canada chase a puck around and occasionally they beat the shit out of each other. I'm like, well, that sounds interesting. I'm like, I've seen curling on TV during the Olympics every 4 years, but hockey, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think he even answered you. I think you Googled that definition. He was like, could not be bothered. He was just like, fuck off, customers.
Fuck off, eh?
Yeah.
So it's 3 of us in this bar. And, you know, we're like, hey, tell us about hockey. So we sit there and he's like so into the game. I'm like, well, this guy's pretty invested. So we're watching. He tells us it's the Las Vegas Knights and it's the Florida Panthers. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals, game 3.
And he would only talk to us during commercials.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, tell us about it. So he's really giving us the backstory. Vegas is #1. It's fucking exciting. I'm like, Vegas? Dude, I'm driving to Vegas. Will they end up back in Vegas? Like back and forth from Florida? He's like, yeah, game 5 will be in Vegas. But if they don't win those, then I got to go back to Florida. I'm like, no shit. So I tell you, I'm like, hey, bandwagon fan, let's take that bikini of yours and let's go to fucking hockey.
So we were watching the game with the guy and we're learning more and more about hockey. I mean, it's nice for bandwagon fans when you sit down to the bar to like the biggest hockey fan ever, the most informed.
Right. A real craftsman, knowledgeman.
In all of the places in Arizona. You know what I mean? It would have made sense if it was like in Minnesota or Canada
He was
or
a
something.
psycho hockey fan.
He knew every team. He's telling us like this player was traded from here. I'm like, whoa. You're getting too advanced for me. I'm still just like learning the basics. So
why isn't there a halftime? Why is there a period?
Yeah. I'm even like lower than that. I'm like, so they play on ice. So in the course of him telling all of this to us, he's selling it to us. I mean, he should be a hockey salesman.
Yeah, because we were all in.
We're getting more and more excited. And so they're going to be back in Vegas. We're going to Vegas. What days are they going to be in Vegas? And you say, maybe we can catch a game while we're there.
That's one of the dumbest things you could say in the world. Maybe we'll catch a game, like the Stanley Cup game, the final game.
Are they called games? Hockey matches? Hockey, we don't fucking know anything. But I'm like, maybe we can catch a hockey game.
I don't know. We're going to Vegas and driving through.
Yeah. So this poor kid is like, holy shit, you're going to go to Vegas. You're going to see a hockey game? And that's crazy. And
We've never seen a hockey game.
Yeah. And he's like, it's Stanley Cup. Like, you'll never get tickets. You just wait till next season and maybe you can see him next season, but it's Stanley Cup. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I don't know, I got StubHub on my phone and we still got some of that house money to spend irresponsibly.
At the bar, you bought Stanley Cup tickets right in front of this poor kid.
Yeah.
You're like, we got seats right here.
Yeah. I was like,
going.
Have you been to where they play in Vegas? Are these good seats?
The look on his face was like, what the fuck?
It's like if anyone has ever looked at you like they worship you and they want to punch you in the face at the same time.
That was the look he gave us. The look was, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen everybody do, and I fucking hate you.
So then I was like, okay, I got these tickets. Now I need you to teach me everything that I need to know.
I need to learn about hockey real fast.
About hockey right fucking now.
So game 4 was Florida. Game 5 was Vegas. So we go to Vegas before game 4 starts. So we're going to have to watch it on TV. So we're like, let's find a cool place to see it.
That was part of the plan.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we got to see at least one more game on TV because I had a lot more learning I needed to do.
For sure.
Before I saw it live.
So it's 2-1. So Vegas has won 2 games. Florida's won 1 game. 3 games in.
This is 2023.
2023 season. So we go to Vegas. Let's find the coolest place to watch this game. So we go to a place we've never been to before because it's supposed to be the biggest screen in the world. Circa Pool.
Yeah.
They're throwing a Las Vegas Knights hockey party.
Well, and this is still how ignorant we are because we're going to Las Vegas where their newer hockey team team is vying for the Stanley Cup, pulling in, and we're like, is it a big deal?
Where do you think we should go to see the game?
Well, people have the game on. And then we'd look, and it's like every casino, every bar, there's just watch game 4 here, watch the,
Hockey
NHL,
party,
Stanley
Cup party, DJs, parties, fucking all this shit.
Okay,
yeah.
I guess we figured it out.
We're in the right spot. We go to Circa. Now, the good news was we sat next to 2 Canadians. So not only did we see game 3 with like the biggest hockey fan in Flagstaff, Arizona, then we sit next to Canadians. I don't know if you know any Canadians, but all they know about is beer and hockey. And so we like beer, and now we like hockey. They're teaching us hockey while we're watching the game.
No, they're teaching me hockey. So I right away, I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to learn so much from you guys. So I sit down and I'm looking at you like, hey, we're going to learn so much. I can't even get the sentence out because now the game has started and you have started your shoutcasting.
I'm shoutcasting.
So you don't fucking learn anything.
Well, I'm just like, pull the goalie.
Yeah.
Pull the fucking goalie.
And I'm asking the Canadians like every
pull the
question
goalie?
I can.
I mean, it's the first period.
Trying to learn, and they're actually trying to be really helpful, but they're also like, do you think that you can ask that man that's sitting next to you to quiet down? And I'm like, well, I don't know him.
That man from California who's never been to a hockey game in his life,
Yeah.
did you tell him to shut the fuck up?
I was like, I'm not with him, but he is sitting right next to me, so I'll work the courage up to tell him to shut the fuck up.
So we're rooting for this game to win because if Vegas wins game 4, that means it'll be 3-1. Which means theoretically, game 5 that we have tickets to could be the last game.
Yes.
Of the Stanley Cup for 2023. So we're like, that's kind of cool.
So I still didn't understand shit about hockey, but I did understand best 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
And I was doing that math.
As a baseball fan, you're like, I know 4 out of 7. I know World Series shit. This all makes sense. I don't know what a period is, but I know that 4 out of 7 is a win.
Exactly. So I knew, okay, they're going to play game 5 no matter what. But what would be really cool is if they go into game 5 3-1 and then they win game 5.
So we're at that bar, and you can get the signature drink, of course, with a special plastic cup, which we love. So we drink as many of those as we can. So we're drinking the signature drinks, and what we do is we just kind of keep adding up to our cups and stacking our cups. And then they win. We all go fucking crazy. It's awesome. We got to get an Uber out of there, and we climb into a random Uber, and we have these stacks of cups, like trophies that we've accomplished. And the Uber driver looks at us, and he goes, you didn't drink all those drinks, right? You just stole those cups from other people, or you collected them, which you do sometimes. And we're like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? Like, of course we drink all these drinks. And I realized, like, the question was twofold. 1, did you really spend $25 every fucking time you fucking got a drink? And 2, are you going to throw up in my Uber before I can get you to your hotel? I'm like, fucking Vegas nights won, dude.
We've got a sleeve of the souvenir cups. I have a very rudimentary understanding of hockey thanks to my new Canadian friends. And then you have no voice because you have just screamed
Pull the
top of your
goalie for
lungs.
2 hours.
Pull the goalie.
Pull the goalie, pull the goalie. Now, the reason I say that is I know this much about hockey, like a fingernail's thickness of it. I read a Malcolm Gladwell book about statistics, and he's like, statistically, it makes sense to pull the goalie. I'm like, I like statistics. I like Malcolm Gladwell. Pull the fucking goalie. And he's from Canada.
The first thing the Canadians explained to me is they said, it's a little early in the game to pull the goalie.
It's the first period.
Thank you. I appreciate your tutelage.
So the best news is this. Vegas wins game 4. We got tickets for game 5.
And they did pull the goalie at the end.
When Florida pulled the goalie because they were losing, I lost my
You
fucking
lost your
mind.
mind.
I'm like, I fucking told you Gladwell was right. They pulled the fucking
Well, and you
goalie.
got so excited that Florida had finally pulled the goalie that you started cheering for Florida. And I was like, wait. You're going way off course. We need Vegas to win so that we can watch them get the Stanley Cup at game 5.
So it all works out. Now we have a day or 2 off because we got to wait for them to rest and they got to fly from Florida to Vegas for the game. So now we have the task of becoming the biggest Las Vegas Golden Knights fans in the world, which means we got to have jerseys, beanies, hats, shirts, sweat.
You forgot about a component of this.
Oh, I did?
Well, yeah, because when we left Flagstaff, our new best friend told us, well, it is really cold in the hockey arenas. Like that is.
I'm like,
ice.
why is it cold?
And because he's also looking at us in Flagstaff dressed
In a bikini.
Yeah, I think it was like 62 degrees that night in Flagstaff, and we're wandering around dressed like it's 95 degrees. So he's like, you two dumb fucks, you look like you don't know how to dress appropriately for weather. The hockey arena is going to be very cold. He's like, if you're going to go to this game, which I still can't believe that you are, you need to get some warmer clothes. And you would tell me, you can't pack anything. There's no room for stuff. Now you're like, you're going to have to throw some shit out because we got to stop and get some warm clothes. So in between Flagstaff and Vegas,
We took our brand new to us Porsche to a Ross Dress for Less in Arizona to buy clothes to keep us warm. Because apparently, according to this bartender in Arizona, because you're sitting around a large piece of ice, it's cold in there, which we had no idea.
So at the Ross Dress for Less, we each bought pants. I bought jeans. You bought Adidas sweats or something like that. We bought socks. Like, we didn't even have warm socks.
Nothing.
Then we also had this plan, like, well, once we get to Vegas, we'll buy all the night gear.
Yes. So we're running around malls and shops trying to get a fucking jersey.
Why get a sweatshirt in the Arizona Ross Dress for Less for $19.99 when we can go to Las Vegas and we can get a night sweatshirt?
NHL Golden Knights, a real jersey for $250.
Exactly.
Which I did. I have an Eichel jersey. We were trying to figure out the home colors. Like, hey, what colors are they Are they wearing the gold jerseys or the black or the white?
You got
People
ridiculous.
were like, what the fuck?
First of all, you kept asking everybody, hey, where do they sell Knights jerseys? And at this point, I had already found in the hotel lobby, I had a Knights sweatshirt. I had a Knights beanie. I had my Ross jeans. I was ready. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I am completely dressed. I'm good to go. And you were just like, no, I need
The goalie for the Golden Knights at the time was Hill. And the bartender in Flagstaff loved him. He's like, number 33, Hill's the fucking man. And Hill was killing it in that Stanley Cup. He was blocking every shot. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to find a Hill jersey. And that's when I'm going to rock the 33. Because I got some inside information from a bartender in fucking Arizona about hockey.
So you decided, first I want a jersey. And I was like, you're never going to fucking wear this again. And then you decided it had to be Hill, number 33. And then on top of that, you decided it has to be whatever color they're going to be wearing that day.
Yeah.
We go to check into the hotel and you're, oh, yes, thank you for my room key. Do you know where to get Knights jerseys in Las Vegas? And do you know what color jerseys they're going to wear during game 5? Every server we had, we're at the Circa pool and she's just like, do you want another one of these ridiculously large drinks in the souvenir cup? And you're like, yes, I would. And also, do you any of your server friends, can you just ask around? What color jerseys are they going to be wearing game 5?
So we get ourselves dialed in. I never find the Hill jersey.
It was the only time during the game you stopped shoutcasting. You shut up long enough to just ask people. You're like, hey, honey,
I want a very specific jersey.
Ask your new Canadian friends if they know what color jerseys they'll be wearing.
So game day, problem with Vegas is it's summertime, Stanley Cup, it's hot as balls. But we're going to sit around an ice cube. We got to wear all our hot shit to walk from the hotel to T-Mobile Stadium. And that's an effort, right? Like sweaty.
Side note, do you remember where we stayed? So we did everything to the nines that trip where you're like, we're going to fly first class.
We stayed at the Tropicana before they knocked it down. The shittiest hotel. They stopped servicing that hotel because they were going to knock it down. They stopped cleaning the room. They stopped selling things. They were literally about 2 weeks between the day we were there and we were going to knock it down with a fucking bulldozer.
As we walked down the hallway, it was like doors had just been shut and taped off. It was like if there was a problem with the room, like if you plugged the toilet, they just moved you rooms and just taped it off like this room is dead.
Yes.
They weren't fixing anything. They weren't changing light bulbs.
We were one of the last people to ever stay at the Tropicana.
The only staff left. They were just like the saddest.
They're like, I'll be unemployed in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to go see Game 5 Stanley Cup. You coming?
Yeah. You're like, hey, do you know where I can get a $200 jersey to wear?
Do you know what
once?
color they're wearing tomorrow? It was like walking through a graveyard.
Yeah.
So we march ourselves down from the Tropicana, which is dying, to T-Mobile, which isn't that far. We go by New York. And we come into like a parade of partiers. Now we're in. We're all in. People are like, they see us in all of our shit because we're top to bottom Golden Knight shit. And they're like, how long you guys been fans of the Knights? It's so exciting. Game 5. I'm like, I don't know, like 72 hours? Tops, maybe 48.
It was weird though to see everybody dressed for the wintertime when it was like 100 degrees outside.
So the parade in was epic. It was a fucking festival of fun. We go in and these two Fairweather fucking fans went to Game 5 of the 2023 Stanley Cup. We watched the home team win the fucking Stanley Cup. We saw them march out with it. The fucking stadium went off the fucking charts. Crazy.
It was awesome.
I'm so glad we were there.
And we're hockey fans now.
We love hockey. We've been to numerous hockey games now. That was our introduction to hockey, and we got the golden ticket with the Golden Knights and got to see them win at home, and we got to see the whole ceremony when they bring the cup up. Every player puts it over the head and skates around the rink. That's why we don't have any money anymore, because we flew first class, bought a Porsche, did VIP shit, bought all the fucking drinks, got the jersey, went to Game 5 of Stanley Cup. Then we came home to an apartment and said, look at us.
That's why we'll be watching this year's Stanley Cup game downstairs in our apartment living room on TV.
Yes.
We will not be going to Canada. We will not be going to Florida.
Let's go Oilers. So anyways, you were embarrassed recently about being a Fairweather fan. The story connected with that.
I'm always embarrassed when I get called out on my bandwagon fanness bullshit.
Let's go find a new sport and become the best Fairweather fans ever. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Well, we haven't even talked about all the Fairweather fanning we've done for NBA.
We've done some of that too. All right, well, before we cheers these drinks, what are they?
I am drinking Diet Cherry Pepsi and vodka.
I am drinking sparkling ice, fruit punch, and vodka.
It's a vodka day.
Vodka. You know who likes vodka? Hockey players. Well, let's do a hockey movie night.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get some more vodka and let's watch hockey.
Unless we're watching the actual series. I don't know if there's...
Is that on tonight?
I don't know.
Yeah, Edmonton. Let's go.
God, we're the worst fans.
To the fucking Oilers. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kriders' different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.